might not be a name that every New Yorker can immediately recite, but it is someone who has the power to shape nearly every aspect of the city we call home. The ability to influence the course of our shared future like few others in government. The OMB director oversees our budgets, leads financial planning and policy making, and will support me in maintaining both the short and long-term health of our city. While that may sound abstract, it will be felt in ways that are anything but. When a child walks into school and is greeted by a teacher who is paid a salary that means they can afford to live in the city, a school that is well-resourced, that is the mark of an OMB director hard at work. When a group of friends see the sun is shining and go to a nearby public park because it is clean of trash and the lawns are green with grass, that is the mark of an OMB director investing in public services. And it will be felt when a child can grow up here in Pamanok houses and rise all the way to serve as OMB director because NYCHA tenants have received the investments and the resources that they deserve. I am very proud to announce today that Sharif Suleiman will serve as the next director of the Office of Management and Budget. As New Yorkers learn more about him, I know they will share my excitement. Sharif is a son of New York, a child of immigrants like me. He was born in our city, grew up here in Pamanok houses, and has raised his two beautiful children in New York with his wife, Hanan. He boasts a record of transformative leadership that has measurably improved the lives of New Yorkers. It will allow him to begin delivering from City Hall from day one. And as the Senior Vice Chancellor and Chief Financial Officer at CUNY for the past 2 years, he has managed a multi-billion-dollar budget, reduced the structural deficit by nearly 80% in 2 years, and has deep competence navigating the political complexities of budget management. City Hall will feel familiar for Sharif. He has not only held senior roles in city government across the past 3 mayoral administrations, he served as the commissioner of the Department of Finance and has led high-level negotiations on New York City's behalf. But more meaningful to me than any breadth or depth of past experience is the alignment we share on what matters most, a commitment to transforming our city into one where every New Yorker can afford a life of dignity. Budgets are nothing if not a reflection of political choices and political will. And together, I am eager to make different decisions and to enact an agenda that puts first the many, not just the privileged few. I know that this is work that Sharif is not only uniquely qualified to perform, but deeply eager to lead. And I'm grateful to him for returning to serving this city. Please join me in welcoming New York's next director of the Office of Management and Budget, Sharif Suleiman.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor-elect, for the opportunity to serve in your administration as the next budget director of the city of New York. And thank you for the ornaments here on this Christmas tree of my childhood here at Pamanok Houses, which will no doubt be a meme later today. Thank you for that. But I am humbled by the trust you have placed in me to take on this important role and to work alongside you in the stellar team you have assembled to deliver on the affordability agenda. And speaking of that team, I'd like to thank incoming First Deputy Mayor Dean Houlihan for being a mentor and a friend, and incoming Chief of Staff Elle Biscard Church for her leadership and confidence in me to deliver for New Yorkers. I'd be remiss if I did not also thank my current employer, the City University of New York, an invaluable institution and affordable engine of upward social mobility. I want to thank the chair of the board, Bill Thompson, Chancellor Felix Matos Rodriguez, and the Chief Operating Officer, Hector Batista, who is here with us today. Thank you, Hector, for everything. Thank you for the opportunity to manage CUNY's finances. It's been said that public service is a privilege. Well, I have been lucky enough to enjoy that privilege for nearly 30 years in various roles in the state and the city of New York. and I am honored to continue to serve in what will be my fourth mayoral administration. I can honestly say that I am as excited today as I was 28 years ago about the opportunity to deliver meaningful change through public service. Budgets are more than just numbers on a spreadsheet, lines on a graph, or statistics on a chart. They're about priorities. They're about hopes and dreams of New Yorkers for a more affordable city. They're about innovation and excellence in government. They're about ensuring quality service delivery for New Yorkers. We will be intentional about smart and effective budgeting that delivers on the needs of New Yorkers while being responsible stewards of the public fisc. We are clear-eyed about the challenges that lie ahead, and we are excited about the opportunities to tackle an affordability crisis that has persisted and has strained household budgets for far too long. To be sure, we will need help to get there, and I look forward to joining ongoing conversations with our governmental partners on how to achieve the affordability agenda together in common purpose. On a personal note, as a first-generation Egyptian Muslim American who was born and raised in New York, I cannot help but feel a profound sense of pride for the chance to join the administration of the first Muslim mayor of the city of New York. My parents emigrated here to the US from Egypt over 5 decades ago. Like many immigrants, they made ends meet through a collection of jobs. But my father, who's here with us today, he ultimately found his way to a career in public service in the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. And it was while he was at DOHMH that he instilled in me the nobility of public service. And I am glad again that he's here with us today to usher in the next chapter in this historic time in our city's leadership. So thank you, Dad. And finally, to my family who are also here with us today, to my wife, Hanan, Hayati. I hope it's okay if I borrow that line. Okay. Thank you for your love, support, and endless sacrifices when plans were upended because I needed to stay in Albany another week, or I had to tend to some governmental crisis during COVID. To my children, Lena and Ziad, thank you for being two amazing kiddos and for translating the Gen Alpha world for us. And to their teta, their grandma, Layla, thank you for being a pillar of strength for our family. So once again, thank you, Mayor-elect. I'm very excited to roll up my sleeves and get to work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll start with on-topic questions first, for both, please. Yeah, Josie, go ahead.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Josie. How's it going?
Good, thanks. So the IBO projected yesterday that you will enter office with a $380 million budget deficit, which could end up being a $6.5 billion gap for the upcoming fiscal year. This is really, I know you were asked this question yesterday, I believe this is really before the retreat. How do you plan on balancing this ambitious affordability agenda with balancing the budget?
Sure.
And then
Thank you for the question. Sure. Thank you for the question. So we know that there are disagreements between the IBO, between the Comptroller's Office that also came out with a report, and with OMB. We look forward to speaking with each of them, and I'll be sitting down with Director Jiha soon as well, and understanding their projections, what they're seeing on the revenue side, what they're seeing obviously on the expense side. And, you know, our preliminary budget will reflect the mayor's priorities, and we will have a preliminary budget that's balanced. We've had balanced budgets in the city of New York since 1981, and we're not about to shy away from that.
Okay, and then my second question is, you're appointing many former de Blasio officials. You're appointing today and the two yesterday, both former de Blasio admin officials. Do you think you're inviting more criticisms than you've already gotten about potentially being a de Blasio 2.0?
I am confident in the team that we're putting together. And what I appreciate so much about this team is they bring with them a fluency of city government and an undimmed ambition as to what it could deliver. And it is a team that we are going to announce additional additions to in the days and weeks to come, and New Yorkers will see it for what it is, which is a new era in our politics.
Yeah.
What do you think is the thing at OMB that most needs fixing with the new administration?
I think I'll just say broadly. I think about the example of universal pre-K. OMB was critical in delivering that to New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. And we are going to ensure that OMB is understood both internally and externally as a critical part of delivering and fulfilling our affordability agenda. That is the vision that we are going to bring within our city government.
OMB, M stands for management. So I would say, in my view, and I've been around government for a long time, and I've seen OMB and what it can do. OMB can be a real catalyst for change, for finding efficiencies, for finding, innovation and excellence in government, as we said. And that is really something that we'll lean into with a great team that we have. And at the same time, doing it in an open and transparent way.
Yeah, Dana.
Thanks. Hi, this message is for Sharif. When you were at CUNY, you're credited with dealing with a lot of structural deficits and turning around several schools, but you had to do so by, getting rid of adjunct positions and enlarging class sizes. Do you foresee having to do that sort of belt tightening moving forward?
Well, I think the mayor-elect has been very clear that what we need to do is look for excellence in government. There is a savings program that exists right now in the city of New York. There's some savings that have been booked in the November plan. I'm eager to sit with the budget director and to talk about what additional opportunities there are there. But we want to make sure that the budget reflects an effective and efficient city agency landscape. And from my point of view, we will not shy away from exploring looking at programs to make them more effective, or looking at, as the mayor-elect has said, procurement reform and things like that. The other things that I've worked on in my prior life, for example, heading up the capital process task force reform. Something really arcane, but something that is so important to the nuts and bolts of government. And that's the kind of effort and leadership that I will bring to OMB.
Yeah, Hannah.
Hi. Two questions. They're both about the Department of Community Safety.
We'll just do one after the other.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Yesterday, the governor announced that she is putting another $77 million into NYC to keep them on the subway platforms. I'm curious, have you discussed at all how that's going to work with your Department of Community Safety? Does that affect any of your current plans at all?
We continue to be excited about the Department of Community Safety, and are also encouraged to see the announcement that the governor made on public safety across the city, and how our subways are safer than they have been in many years, and yet we also understand that the work has to continue. And our focus will continue to be that officers are tasked with responding to serious and violent crimes, and that no longer do we ask them to be the primary responders to a homelessness crisis, to a mental health crisis, and that is where the Department of Community Safety will start to play a role in New Yorkers' lives. And the second question.
Yeah, and also, there's been a lot of reports of dispatchers being burned out, shortages in staffing. Have you flushed that out at all? What's your plan for funding dispatchers specifically?
It's very concerning, and it also is something that is no surprise given the increase in 911 calls that have taken place over many, many years. In a single year, the NYPD responds to 200,000 calls on the mental health crisis alone. So this is something we're going to be taking seriously, and we'll get back to you on.
Yeah, Jason.
I have a question about, my colleague Joe Anuto reported this morning that Dean Fulihan sat down with city council speaker candidates and tried to get one candidate that would be the strongest to take on Julie Menon. Did you direct Dean Fulihan to do that? And also, are you worried this early sign before she's even speaker to knock her out of the race could sour your relationship with her in City Hall.
I'm looking forward to working with the incoming speaker, Julie Menon, and I've appreciated the fact that the two of us share a commitment to an affordability agenda and to delivering on that agenda for working New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs.
Did you direct Dean Fuelhan to pick the strongest candidate that would knock her out of the race?
I directed my team to have meetings with a wide variety of city council members to ensure that we were talking about our agenda and how we could fulfill it.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
IBO recently reported that the city is going to need about $700 million more to comply with the state class size mandate for the city. What's your plan on being able to meet that, and how concerned are you about it right now?
That is a mandate that we will fulfill. It is critically important to delivering a standard of excellence across our public education system. And I am excited, frankly, to be working with my new OMB director to ensure that we meet that mandate.
Alyssa, yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Congratulations.
I also said thank you.
What did you say?
I didn't know who, we were both saying thank you. We were both happy.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
How do you think your January plan might account for risks like potential federal cuts, the risk that New York might not get the full tax increase, from Albany that it's looking for? And at this point, how do you assure New Yorkers with those risks out there that the city can afford Mayor Mamdani's plans?
Sure. Thank you for the question, Melissa. I think that, so first, we will, again, have a balanced budget for a preliminary budget. We are clear-eyed about the risks that exist. We have ongoing conversations with the state. The preliminary budget is due out on February 1st. The governor's budget will be out prior to that. And so we will gain insight as to what the state picture looks like. But yes, we have to be prepared and have contingency plans in case there is a downturn.
And Mayor-elect Mamdani, can you just clarify for us, do you have any deeper thoughts on how police are used in subways? Are you okay with them, say, being on the train cars at night versus standing around on platforms? Do you have concerns about them maybe just being there but not being useful? Separate from your concerns about like community safety.
I think my concerns is, as someone who has grown up in this city, there have been many times where I have been walking through a subway station and the only person that a New Yorker can find to ask any question of is a police officer. And I know that our police officers have things of much more importance to do than to answer a question of which train is running and which exit someone can use. And part of the reason that we look at the response times of, let's say, 5 years ago and them being lower than 11 minutes versus their most recent response times being closer to 16 minutes is also because we have asked officers to do more and more. And so my focus is to ensure that officers are doing the work of policing and that we start to ensure that when New Yorkers have questions separate from that, needs separate from that, we can meet them without putting that on officers.
But does being present on a subway platform or present on a train count as policing in your mind?
I think as long as the intent of it is to respond to crime, that's critically important. If the intent of it is to respond to the mental health crisis or homelessness, that's where I think we can make a difference.
Yeah, Andrew.
It's off topic, is that okay?
That's okay.
Sure, thanks. Mr. Mamdani, you may have heard that Governor-elect Sherrill of New Jersey is now suggesting, maybe even more than half serious, about imposing some sort of congestion pricing tax in reverse on New Yorkers like you who would want to go and see the World Cup. What's your reaction to that?
Well, if I went to the World Cup, I'd be using public transit. I hadn't heard of this prior, so I'll think about it more and then let you know.
Do you think that that's, perhaps I don't know words you might, do you think it's maybe a hostile gesture? Or
I've appreciated the conversations that I've had with Governor-elect Sherrill, and this is one thing that I look forward to speaking with her about, because as much as we are in separate states, as much as we speak of separate cities, we also know that this is an area where so many of our lives are intertwined.
All right, I think one, oh, yes, right there.
Hi, good morning. With Councilmember Lincoln Ressler introducing legislation today to establish the Department of Community Safety, how soon do you plan to elect a commissioner or a director to that post? And what is your directive for 911 call operators to start transferring those mental health calls away from NYPD?
I am heartened by the introduction of this legislation. I think it's an important step towards the fulfillment of creating the Department of Community Safety. I think that questions of a director and changes to policy are those that will come after the establishing of the department itself. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. And I
Thank
think
you.
we'll do a few photos.
Yeah,
Oh, one more
please,
question.
yeah.
Right here.
Have you decided when you're gonna appoint as commissioner for the Philadelphia community?
Not as yet. We will be making additional appointments over the next few days and weeks, and at this point, we are very, very excited, frankly, of the ever-expanding nature of the team. As soon as we have that to share, though, we will let you know.
If this got to find a that would want does that include absence for disability though?
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time? I'm having trouble hearing.
Got to that you're gonna, does that include absence or disability equity?
I'm just going to come over to you. You said in regards to the the application portal. Okay, sorry, I wasn't catching that. In regards to the application portal,
Does that have any absence or disability
Interest areas.
okay,
though?
you're
Have you thought of that?
you're saying that in the application portal that we have for the transition, there isn't an area to indicate whether someone is disabled? Okay, that is something that I'll follow up with the teom. Thank you for highlighting that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna do a few photos, and then we're gonna.
Yeah, sounds good. Please, please.
Can I give you a hug?
You can. So lovely. So much about it.
Oh my goodness.
Hello. Nice to meet you.